Just hearing my voice for the first time this morning, I have not spoken a word since yesterday. I was hard in them books. Okay, so bear with me. I don't have a message that I wrote down this morning. Everything pretty much is how I woke up. All right. So I woke up, had to hit her with some water because, yeah, I fell asleep. I didn't put any bonnet on, nothing. No moisturizers, no nothing. So I had to hit her with some water. Not mousse, that's for synthetic. This is water. So yeah. I don't know. I woke up and judges. That's what I went to sleep with. And one of the first things you learn is you shouldn't be judgmental, right? You judge accordingly, but not exceedingly, and you keep it pushing, right? So that part stood out to me. But judges. So I went to the Bible and I went to the book of Judges, and all I kept seeing was like war. Like I see, like it was like Judah went against the Canaanites, and the it was like a lot of fighting. It was a lot of, you got to go there and you got to smite them. You got to go there, you got to kill them, you got to get with them, you got to go in with them, you got to do this, you got to do that, right? And I was reading it, and some of it was triumph, some of it was like a lot of back and forth, some of it was like, if you do this, if you go to this land and you smite these people, I'll give you my daughter to marry. And it made me think of the contracts and agreements of modern day. They're not much different except for papers and more people and, houses and laws and, other children and, families, that sort of thing that can get in the way of those types of agreements, right? So you kind of got to be very careful with what you go into agreement with. But here's something that is still true during modern day. We still have judges. We have judges. Like that was a chapter in the Bible. We have like actual judges that are appointed, and they're treated as relics. What, no matter what age, no matter what time that they get into there. So we have judges, and I think about the responsibilities of judges and the powers there of judges, and what I saw in the book was a lot of arranged wars, a lot of placement, a lot of strategy, a lot of social engineering. And I keep going back to judges. And I know we have judges in all over the world that are responsible for ushering in and out rules and peers and things of that nature. But hold on, we have judges. We have judges. And I just was looking at the arrangement of things and how our modern day system allows our judges to do exactly what God was doing back then in the day when he decided that Judah should go into the Canaanites and into the different lands and go with this one. And remember, Judah also went against Jerusalem as well. So when you read these things, like war is as old as time itself, but the judges keep sitting out to me. So I was thinking, maybe, I can tell when hit dogs holler, they come up with things that are nonsense. But yeah, so judges are still that same way. They hold the same rank. They send people into lands, they do things. But the thing about judges is They're usually some of the last people we find out are involved with things, but their reach is so far and wide, and it's long, and it's almost timeless, right? It's almost timeless because let's be real. Once you join that type of situation, you're pretty much part of a certain club, and you can pretty much push things around a bit anonymously. So I don't know who that's for, but judges is seeming to stick out to me. Look, I picked out a nice little heart shaped stone yesterday. It's nice, right? I like the coloring, the speckles, you know, light and dark. It's beautiful. But yeah, judges, judges. I got a blue heart. It's fading in and out. Judges. So yeah, judges. I keep thinking about judges and how most people that are put into that position to judge are supposed to be doing it in an upright manner. I mean, you are responsible for humanity pretty much, no matter where you are, whether you're in a big court, a small court, a common court, a court, period, a court of your peers. Judgment has to be passed. The thing about judgment is it doesn't work well when it doesn't when it has false witnesses. It doesn't work well when the peers have motives. Everybody's checking the judge for motives. Everybody's checking the jury for motives. Everybody's checking the lawyer for motives. They're checking, they're cross-examining the representation for motives. But nobody checks the judge. Whether it's a real judge in a robe, or whether it's your mom or your dad in a robe, whether it's your husband or your wife in a robe, whether it's your child in a robe, it's a robe nonetheless. Are you judging me? Why should you judge me? Should you be judging me? Are you judging me uprightly? Or are you judging me based on your needs? And those are the questions that we have to ask ourselves. Why are we judging? What are we judging for? Should it be judged? Am I right in judging? Is my time up? Because let's see, for a time, your judgment could be right, but then there comes a time where your judgment becomes cloudy and a bit lopsided and a bit biased. It could become a bit jaded. It could be jaded. You know, some people, they've had so many things done to them in certain times in their life to where they're jaded and they find a niche in life to where they control or they have some type of influence or power, a position, and they wave their power around or their influence or their sway, and things happen. So, are we susceptible to judgment? Is it possible that we've listened to someone who's judged someone unfairly and judged them the same way due to the fact that we believe this judge is judging uprightly? Do you know that some judges don't judge themselves very well? I've heard of some that get caught in their chambers doing clandestine things. However, they're still trusted to come out and give out the facts, or at least their judgment, unbiased judgment, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Are they held in the same regard? Do they have peers? Are their peers of equal standing? And if they have peers, are they transparent with their peers? Most judges don't appear to have peers. At least it's what we think. That's what we know. But we've all also heard that they also chill out at the bars. They go to happy hours together. But you never know which ones to judge, because I think once he takes off the robe, he's represented as a lawyer, right? Good morning. Thank you. So I believe this is very, very important to someone about judges and judging. But this also can go to the magistrate in the court. Like I said, I'm not just local, it's worldwide. You might be in the court of your peers in your home. Who knows? Do you care? That's not my business. It's the judgment. What do you do with the judgment? Do you let it beat you down forever? Or do you take this judgment as constructive criticism and rearrange things in a way in which you should be treated fairly? Should that judge be held in the court of his own peers? I mean, I'm saying when you go to the psychiatrist has to go to supervision. The reason why the psychiatrist has to go to supervision is because of checks and balances. Because let's just say human errors on both sides. And for some reason, when we get these people in certain positions, they become omniscient or whatever. They become above reproach. They put on these uniforms and they disappear. That is, my dear, what I call cloaking. Is that the cloak? Once you put on the judge's outfit, you're hidden. That's what it is. Once you get to a certain position, they allow you to put on the cloak. Take this as it resonates. And then suddenly you disappear, yet your words don't disappear. They're ever, 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 ever in the air like arrows flying. And suddenly they do shoot and they do strike. But who do they strike? We do not know, because you are cloaked, because you are allowed. Someone gave you this position, and for some reason, even though you're no longer in those square pictures where all of you have circle heads, but you're in square pictures and you're in your cloaks. Even after you're no longer lined up in the hallways, the ancient hallways of the marble and the pine and the sandalwood that's deep, deep down in the tunnels, you're still a circle in that square somewhere. You pick up the phone, you kick it, you're like, hey, I need a favor. I need something. I need this to go left. I need this to go right. I need this to go up. I need this to go down. Am I coming around to you? Oh, yeah. I'm putting the pieces together for you without putting the pieces together for you, because you know what I'm talking about, because you're picking up what I'm putting down, because we have judges. And they play a part in a war that they never get out of, and they never really have to step away from. Really, the biggest, biggest weapon, honestly, is not that AK. Really, honestly, I'm telling you, the biggest weapon has not a bullet. The biggest weapon, you usually don't get introduced to first thing. You usually like take it when one of your parents aren't around and you use it for the first time. And because you're not able to get rid of the evidence, you say, you know what, I don't want to touch this again. And then when you get to school, they don't allow you to touch it until you're ready, because they know if you start using this, you can't get rid of it. If you start using this, you can't get rid of it. It's forever etched in history. So they give you the alternative, because the alternative you can erase, you can kind of get rid of. You can't get rid of the mark, so to say, but you can erase that. But the most powerful thing that you can get that's really left unawares about all the time is a pen. Your John Hancock or their John Hancock can get you into some stuff that you can never get out of. And depending on which way the pen sways, oh my gosh, it's more dangerous than ever any AK you can ever come across. It can write you into some stuff, it can write you out of some stuff. But in the right hands, this thing can topple worlds. These things have been known to demolish families. Right. This is why they don't give it to you until they're ready to hold you to your mistakes. A pen. See, a pencil you can erase. You don't get that much. Even when you get to the lottery, you don't get an eraser. You get a pencil. Oh, that I had a pen. You know who also uses pens? Judges. Wonderful people, them. I've met some are good. But judges, the ones that can disappear with the cloak, who actually get the cloaks that actually are able to disappear in and out. And I think they're playing shoots and ladders back there, honestly. Does he wear pants? I've asked myself because they're human too. That's something I never want to forget when I'm looking at a judge, whether they're in the court of law, which is under marine laws, something like that. That's a whole nother corner of my education. How those words go into marine, how it goes into the thing, the bay and all that stuff. But we'll get into that some other time. But yeah, how that cloak makes you so much more magical. You can like basically write yourself into anywhere and go nowhere at the same time. You can wage war and still be at home drinking coffee with Martha May and Sammy. You can do that with a pen and the cloak. Perhaps the robe represents Hogwarts. And that's my take on that. Yeah, yeah, the pen. So, yeah, with that being said, let's do 110 in the Psalms and get over the ether roll. Hopefully, I didn't give you too much heavy because you've got to pick up what I'm putting down. These are the things that happen. We don't get to vote those people in, they're chosen by a select few of people. And they stand in the way of a lot of things that you don't know of. The Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. The Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning. Thou hast the dew of thy youth. The Lord hath sworn and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill The places with dead bodies he shall wound, the heads over many countries. He shall drink of the brook in the way, therefore shall he lift up the head. And the head is however you take it. All right. Did we not hear countries in that text? See, this is not a very small thing. Although all men are, the fathers of their country, your country being your home, being your temple, being your family. Home is where the heart is, of course, right? So take it as it resonates. What is the state of your mind? What is the state of your country? What is the state of unrest? What is the state of address? What is the state? What is the state? What is the status? Status quo. Bear with me, words. Words are my friends. I like words. I like words in a way because they can explain certain things, but sometimes quite ridiculous, quite superfluous, overextensive. Sometimes when you use words, you see people. I've actually saw a person's collapse in real time. I used a word. The word was dilapidated. Familiarize your kids with encyclopedias, thesauruses, the Britannica, um, all those reading sources. Have them read again. Dilapidated should not have given this person a stroke. Reason being is because if you live in a dilapidated building, you should be able to describe it beyond raggedy or ghetto. You should be able to give it some colorful words at least sometimes. In order to take one into the actual details, dilapidated is deteriorating, um, falling apart from the inside out, rotten, dilapidated. Some people's teeth are dilapidated, some people's lives are dilapidated. When you go through the hood, sometimes you see dilapidated buildings. But when I used this word, I actually visually saw this person fold in a bit. It was concerning to me. I did not use that word for any other reason than I like to use words that require more than one or two syllables. And it's good practice for when you don't plan on remaining in the same place forever. There are other people that use other words. And honestly, it helps you when you go to other countries because the way they pronounce it may involve a whole nother word that you don't use and you're not familiar with. So if you are not versed at least extensively in the English, Latin, British English language, you will suffer if you go to other countries and you don't at least know the base words of other cultures. Like in Spanish, they don't use our words. They'll use something else, or they'll use the word and with a different syllables and a different pronunciation. But if you don't know any words, how can you join the game? Now, there is one place that I know I'm going to have to like beef up a bit. That's when I go to Asia. I definitely, that's my dream, one of my dreams. I gotta go because the consonants in the pronunciation go crazy, and I love that. Like sitama and she. That's like four and some other stuff. Like I said, like two, three words when I say she. You know what I'm saying? Like I need that in my life. It's That's cold without cold. I need that. So that's one of the things I do want under my belt. Good morning. Yesterday, I got up. This little boy tried to eat all the food I made yesterday. I made some curry chicken and some French lentils, some green French lentil peas, and some I made it with curry and rice. I at first when I first did the curry, I meant to do it with a dal puri, which is roti with the peas in the middle, but Alex is a rice man. He don't like bread like that, so I just left the dal puri alone. But I think I'm gonna eat that boy today. You see what I'm saying? Cause we ain't want no breakfast yesterday. We ate dinner, and then we hung out. We hung out. Yes, we did. We actually got a good travel outside. Shout out to all the people downtown that have kept downtown looking pretty clean. That's the partnership that's downtown. I don't blame it on one entity. It is not the leader that does it. It's the people that actually get blessed with the jobs. They go out and do the job. Your efforts are definitely not forgotten. Thank you for cleaning up. Thank you for getting the job anyway, and thank you for attending the job and doing the job right. I do appreciate you all. I appreciate all the service workers that actually do the damn job that they actually signed up for. Appreciate that, especially the ones who don't actually have to be called to do the darn thing. Wonderful. You are the MVP. If not, look, at least it not all over in your life. You're the MVP in your life because you show up. And people have to be appreciated for certain things. We're not saying give awards and all that stuff, but yeah, people have to be appreciated because let's just be real. A lot of things that have gotten rewarded in the last few years, they shouldn't have gotten rewarded. That's why we got all these knucklehead kids. Think you're supposed to spend $1,000 every time they do something with their own knucklehead self, and this is why they're so entitled. Now they don't want to wait for you to make no money or save no money up. They don't want to wait for nobody to get nothing together. They want to go straight jack a nigga. They want to jack somebody. They want to steal it, and then they want to show up in the same darn tennis shoes on somebody's camera that you bought while they stealing from somebody else. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the youth. What you need, honey? You looking for something? Your tablet is downstairs. It's downstairs. He comes straight in on the bully. You're just analyzing? Okay. I don't know about TikTok. I don't have a TikTok, but if anybody sees any of my material over on TikTok or any other platform, please shoot me a message or a screenshot or something because I don't have any of this, like I don't have like any other platforms that I do this on. I do share some of my stuff on Facebook and it might come across on Instagram, but I definitely do not have a TikTok. I have an X account that is inactive. So if you see anything on there, please shoot me a notice. I do not know any of this stuff and I'm not that nosy. Nosy in person. I'm not nosy as far as I'm not going to sit there and research because it already takes enough brain power and all that stuff to sit and scroll anyway, and it's a lot of brain damage with that. So I'm not going to use my living cells just to be nosy. Um, for the people in the back, I'm not going to use my living cells just to be nosy. Okay, so shout out to those who are going to let me know what's going on in case I ain't got my coat pulled to it yet, because apparently I'll be in people business. Apparently, I don't really care. I don't. I don't. Oh, I was trying to pull up my cryptic notes because I think this is fitting today. Cryptic notes because the judges things. It's sticking out to me because it's also is like the reason why I say it's sticking out to me is because it's like a hidden judgment. It's like a hidden thing. It's like somebody using their ability to say certain things and do certain things to hide behind the spaces and the cracks of things. You know what I'm saying? And we know people who have to hide behind the cracks are definitely not upright. They're usually using some type of lie or some type of crime they're trying to cover up when they lie like that. Either that or when they go through all this extra stuff, they just weak. They just weak people because they can't live authentically, especially that part. Like, really? You lied on me because you're like, because nobody likes you? Or you lied on me because nobody was listening to you, so a lie was more interesting? Or you lied on me because they didn't like you? Because they probably didn't like me either. I'm funny like that. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Cryptic notes. Cryptic, 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 cryptic notes. I was drifting, I was sipping, now I am supposed to float. Cryptic, 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 cryptic notes. I was drifting, I was sipping, now I am supposed. Tell me how the fire wasn't supposed to burn me. Tell me how a river, yeah, was supposed to make it to sea. How you need to get up there when it's supposed to be me. How you bitches in that section? Baby, I paid the fee. Cryptic, 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 cryptic notes. I was drifting, I was sipping, now I am supposed to float. Cryptic, 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 cryptic notes. I was drifting, I was sipping, now I am supposed to float. Pain led me to the wire. Then I drowned in my desires. I pushed my feet into the earth. Yeah, yeah. Came up with clay like a designer. Yeah. Cryptic, 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 cryptic notes. I was drifting, I was sipping, now I am supposed to float. Cryptic, 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 cryptic notes. I was drifting, I was sipping, now I am supposed to float. Are we still on? Hey. So that was that. How are you? And good morning. Happy birthday to the happy birthday crew. The Pisces are stepping in as the Aquarius supposed to be leaving out. But if you are a cusp, why not? Scream and shout. You are two at once. Right, 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 right. So let's get into it. How are we feeling? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful morning. bright, 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 and sunny in the morning somewhere, but not here. It's kind of dark. It's still dark here. We haven't switched over. I cannot wait until the actual new year starts, the spring equinox. Yay, the actual new year. Happy New Year to those who actually made it. Sorry for those who were waiting for things to change over in the other new year. We're in the real new year, okay? So one day we'll all get back to the real calendar, but for as right now we'll do as the Romans do. Although you don't want to do too much Roman stuff, because I hear they're the ones that brought in all of this other stuff. Yeah, they actually took a lot of joy out of the more perverted side of things. You know what I'm saying? So be careful doing what the Romans do. The Romans didn't give a dang about saving their soul. They were pretty boys and pretty women, and they were elite, and they had the oils and the perfumes and the robes. Well, they stole the robes. They had to get the stuff from somewhere. And they were like, very leisurely folks. So they say, just be careful because idle minds and confirmation, idle hands and idle minds bring about evil deeds and evil thoughts. So I get it. We want to live a soft life, but there's balance to a soft life because you can't afford the soft life. Is it indeed soft for you because you're making it hard for someone? So make sure your soft life isn't making it hard for someone because that seems to be like that. It's like the seesaw. I get up, you go down, something like that. Let's not do that. Everybody deserves a soft life. So that means at least at some point you have to work hard at something. Don't think that your hands don't contribute to society. It must, but it must. Then we've got the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Swords here. Okay, there's a cutoff to the blind. It's the cutoff to all the blind swords, eight of them. Okay, so there's some cutting off going on. And you see this beauty here, she's binded, okay? And I think that's cut off. I think the binding is coming off. Unbinding the minds. Hello there. Hi. Get that soot out of your eye. Welcome. Good morning. Hi. Welcome to your journey here. If you're just stepping in, I know you might have just found me. This is New Nix, your neighborhood love dealer, and we're here to unpack a pack. And you happen to be the product. We got a brown top here. Okay, so we're trying to figure out how'd you get into all this mess? Well, you happen to be born around something called sin. And honestly, we're born into sin. We are not born sinful. We're born into some people who might have fornicated, who might have stepped off the porch a little bit before they were given permission. So you might have had a karmic as a mom or a dad. Or if you didn't, you might have had a karmic brother or sister. You might have had a karmic grandfather or grandmother. Either way, there was somebody who decided to put their hands or their mouths in your business. And this is how you got here with us. And it's okay. We're going to get you off this journey. It's not going to be easy. See, now we got the Queen of Swords and we've got the Knight of Wands. So somebody's cutting off the man with the horse. You know that man. That gives you a couple of dollars to ride away, and that sort of thing. Somebody's getting rid of their jump off now. See, I gotta do this light the right way because it's too bright. So can you see it now? Yeah. So Queen of Swords is cutting off. So there's a divine feminine. I can't get it out, so she must not be divine yet. But that's okay. Give it a few. Okay, so there is a divine feminine in the making, okay? There's levels to it. You don't have to be perfect, but now that you are aware and your eyes are open, you're looking to the left and you're looking to the right, and you don't like what you see. You have come this far. Okay, it's good that you're here. So, bless you. See? It's a blessing everywhere. Confirmation. So the blessing is that you're here and you're woke and they have not swallowed you up. They have not ruined you totally because you're able to breathe and blink. Okay. There are things that you might regret, but you need not regret it because you survived it. Can I help you? Go downstairs and get it because it's downstairs. It's in the kitchen. Hold up for a second. It's in the kitchen. Be careful with making someone very, 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 very codependent on you, because they will act as though they cannot do not one thing without you, despite the fact that they do it when you don't want them to do it. So you have to be very, very stern at certain points, especially when you know that you kind of contributed to the codependence. And that's what you might have to do to your man with the horse. um Sometimes when we get into things that are situational ships, we give enough that a person gets attached to the way that we support that, and the way that our energy gives them a boost. Some people are feeling great in your company, however you don't feel as much, not initially. So sometimes it looks like in the beginning, you get all the attention, you get all the love, you get all of the praise, but it's only in your face. You do not know when this person leaves you. They're thinking all the time of how they can keep your energy to themselves. And sometimes it looks like sabotaging you. It looks like calling you some things that they wouldn't call you to your face, or saying that you do things or don't do things that have nothing to do with you. It's all in their mind. And in their mind, if they ruin your reputation, no one will seek you. No one will come to be with you. And guess what? They've now officially put you on a shelf for them to come back. And hey, if I ruin your reputation, I won't have to worry about anybody trying to treat you good, because I've already set the stage for people to treat you bad. And if you get treated bad enough, you just might call me. And this is what the game is. If I can get you on the low shelf, if I can run my mouth enough to make everybody think that you're a throwaway, a burnout, or something like that, I can come back and burn you out. Isn't that ill? So that's what it looks like. And if you're a male, there's somebody who wants to make you broke. Yeah. They want to post you. They want to post your arm. Yeah. They want to mention your exes in the chat. Yeah. They want to do that. But they want to do that because who else is about to get it? No, you can't get out the bed and go be with somebody else. No, you can't have enough money because you might have enough money to go somewhere else. No, you can't save up because you might be saving up for the woman you actually want. And this is why you got to be very careful with getting into situationships, because some people, they want you, but they don't want you enough to do better. They don't want you enough to have equal input. They don't want you enough to get up and go to work and go to school and actually have their own flex. They got to be in your business. They got to be in your phone. They got to be in your car. And they also have to be in your reputation. They want to be a page in your book. They want every time you talk to your friends that they're the main subject. Mind you, you got to go to work and you got to function, and your friends don't really want to hear about that all day, and they shouldn't. Your friends shouldn't know about the intricate details of your relationship, not unless it's a danger. You know what I'm saying? In a real danger. So stop telling untruths, because right now we're currently using social media for detectives. You've got people with all these ulterior motives poking around in other people's business, all because too many lies were told. So now checks and balances have to happen. And unfortunately, this is what we have to do, because it takes only a second for something, a lie, to spread on social media. So the truth should be equal, right? not the truth always. Sometimes you got to go through a lot of checks and balances, especially when you have people that start off lying and other people who just want to get into it because they have some type of weird investment in it. And God forbid your enemies see a chance to jump in anonymously, the chaos covers them. So they don't have to fight your head up. They can just poke you through this page and that page. And then they got this one letter thing where they just put up letters and numbers in a combination. And those are the really weird ones because you have no one to go up to. So if it's not directed, it's not respected. But the problem is, there are other people that respect the opinions of others, unfortunately. And it's just a battle. So you have to get very, very comfortable with being the villain in someone's life, in someone's story, in someone's Snapchat. You have to be comfortable with being the topic of someone's group chat, whether it's positive or negative, because this is the society we live in now. You don't actually have to actually be guilty of a deed for real or not. Society holds judgment on you just by a few taps. You don't even have to really write it down anymore. Pass notes? What? They're just taking shots. And God forbid that freeze screen happens and you look weird, like in the middle. They'll actually scroll for that part and take that part and post it. Like, people are weird. And now we've got AI where even more manipulation is happening. And I think that's why I was thinking about the judges, because the judges are kind of important when it comes to making those decisions. Have you ever taken an argument before a judge and the judge judges you wrong or unfairly? I mean, it could be the same when you take it in front of some friends and your friends are judging you wrongly, but you don't know who they sit with at lunch. Same thing for judges. You don't know who they sit with at lunch. You don't know who they hit the bars with. And you don't know the part they play when they're at lunch. Sometimes they play auntie when they're at lunch. Sometimes they play cousin when they're at lunch. Sometimes they play friend when they're at lunch. Devil's advocate much? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you're going to be the villain in your jump off your old sneaky links, or this is your ex or whatever. Yeah, he might have slang it. You might have liked it. You might have liked whatever they did with you, but it's might be time to cut some situation off, and it might be a female to a man. It might be time for him to cut her off if it's getting a bit crazy. And I'm not saying you jump ship at the slightest inconsistency. I'm saying this is consistently happening. I'm saying that you're feeling drained. You're feeling less motivated to get up and do other things like your hobby and your job. Like, you don't want to go to work. That's one thing I did notice. If you are responsible for taking care of yourself and you find yourself in the company of someone, and the company of this person makes you not take care of yourself, you start drinking more, you start smoking more, you start using more, you start calling out of work more, whether or not you think you're having fun or not. You need work, or you need outlets in order to function. You need to generate things to live. So when you start to see the things that give you life force decline, and it's in direct line of you being with this individual more, you notice that because you're with them more, you have less money. Because you're with them more, you eat less, but you don't make healthier choices. Because you're with them more, you drink more. There's always money for drinks, but there's not money for food. There's not money for entertainment. There's not money for eating good stuff. There's never money for a show or a conference or a museum, but there's always money for the club. There's always money for the smoke, but there's never money for groceries. They're always at the bodega, but never at the market. By the way, the corner store is not a place you go grocery shopping. That is for emergency uses. It's a poor choice to grocery shop certain places. So if I see you grocery shop certain places and not the market, mind you, I don't care if you're rich. It's a mindset, it's a mental thing. Why would I go grocery shopping here when there's a grocery or market there? Make it make sense. You understand? So you are now aware that there are certain things in your life that have declined because this is who you lay with, or this is who you give rides to, this is who you pick up for work all the time, this is who you sit in counsel with all the time, this is your ride or die. When you go to the store, when you go to the mall, you call and say, hey, come ride with me. Be careful of that. Some people are only monitoring spirits. They're there to make sure you don't go higher, or they're there to run back and tell other people what's going on. So if you're not with a partner that is definitely valuing your partnership, your privacy, your patience, your productivity, then you should know, because certain things in your life will increase and certain things will decline. And there will be no opportunities to regenerate. And that's what you really have to pay attention to. When you're with the wrong people, your regeneration decreases. You might generate enough to be in their company, you might generate enough to visit them once again, but you'll never generate enough to go past them and disappear. And sometimes that's a level. That's a level to actually pass the level in which you're comfortable sitting with people who you know you need to get up from and do more. That's like knowing you have homework to do, yet you're sitting there playing the video game. It's like knowing the house is dirty, but you're sitting on the steps fiddling. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's knowing you have things to do and you're not doing them, or you're doing other things in lieu of it and you're losing productivity. You're not getting these things done. So, this is why some people are getting rid of the sneaky link thing, because it's a sneaky link. It's sneakily taking time away from your life. The only person you're sneaking at is yourself. If the word sneaky has to be in it, I need you to reevaluate your priorities in life, because what the hell are we sneaking for? We're adults. We're all adults. Unless you're sneaking to hide the Christmas gifts or the Easter eggs, or hide a birthday gift, or for a surprise party, what the hell are you sneaking for? Like, that's dishonesty in an action. That's what sneaky is. Dishonesty in an action. So, yeah, that's about to cut out. I think there's going to be a time for us to come back into relationship with ourselves before we can even breach the contract of being in a relationship with other people, because some people are really good at being in relationships, and kudos to those who are good at it and have found that balance and have battled their demons, and they know that no is a word that is necessary in a relationship. They also know that space and time is not the end of a relationship, but it is the growth of a relationship, in order to be able to spend time and be able to trust oneself, to love oneself enough to not spread oneself around frivolously. That's also a thing. Also, even with the union with yourself, a lot of us have let ourselves go, not the way you think. Let ourselves go as far as let our hobbies go, our likes go, our silliness go, our seriousness go because someone came up and said we had too much of it. But if it was us indeed before that person came along, why did you let it go? Why did you let yourself go so that you can accept this person in? Are they all that? Most times not. And most times they don't think you're all that. Or sometimes they do think you're all that and they came over there to interrupt that because they can't sit with themselves. So they got to separate you from yourself so that they can feel accepted. And that's weird. And that plays out. Sometimes you get a friend that acts like that you can't be friends with other people. And you think it's cute and you're like, oh, my friend loves me. Oh, my boyfriend loves me. Oh, my girlfriend loves me. No, they're trying to suck you dry and they don't want anybody else to know how great you are. Because guess what? If you're a great person with a great person, you guys are going to go out and be great together. And you guys are going to like people to see how great you are together, right? But other people, they're so scared that they're going to lose the attention of you. They're so scared that you're going to leave them. They're so scared that you're going to find something better that the insecurity creeps in and they start holding onto your arm and they start checking checking your car and checking your phone and things of that nature. And some people actually go too far. They get to putting air tags and sneaking locations in and sneaking apps in and hacking your phone and stalking you and things of that nature. Those are the people who need to be sat down. We need to get all of those personalities together because that's extreme. If a person doesn't like you, let it go. I shouldn't be in constant fear. When I go out with my man, if he decides that he's going to ogle another woman, that shouldn't be something in me that reacts to that. It should be me saying, oh, his eyes aren't faithful. So I have a person that's unfaithful, mentally unfaithful. I'm not saying the look, I'm talking about the ogle where they go up and down a woman's body. And some of them are quick. They know how to ogle quick, but be careful. Pay attention. I'm saying just make sure you're paying attention. Some people want to gatekeep you. They know how smart and great you are. They know you can cook. They know that you can plant plants. They know that you can play an instrument. They know that you can read. They know that you can paint. They know that you can build a house. They know that you can drive trucks. They know your talents. And some people just don't want other people to experience you. That's just like the woman in the grocery store. She had a tall husband, and the lady asked, hey, can you get this thing? And he was the only one around that was tall enough to get it. However, the way the lady put it was, you got to ask me before you ask my man, right? And here's the thing. If the lady that asked for the assistance had asked her before she asked her man, what would that have appropriated, right? If she would have asked her before she asked her man, which for me, honestly, in that situation, I probably would say, excuse me, can he get that for me? That's how I would ask that. Excuse me, can he get that for me? And most times it go over well. But then you got some females that will say yeah and then go home and make a whole post about it later on. I can't believe she did that. But she didn't give none of that smoke at that moment. She said yes. I promise you, she did not make it that serious at that moment. Because I've been in that situation. And I promise you, she didn't make nothing about it at that moment. They be the ones I'm like. Or, people, why would he have to ask permission? He's tall. And she's short and I'm short. And I'm not asking him to go home. And I asked him for his number. And I didn't hide. And I didn't try to slip him my number. I just asked, can he get that for me? But there was a situation on Facebook where it was like a whole to do. Should you or should you not be able to ask somebody's man to do? Honey, we all human here. And if everybody was short and he was the only tall, she would have been the only woman asking him to get stuff. So you gonna fight every woman over this man being tall? How about worry about if he love you? Like he can honestly just reach for it and not even look at her. Worry about if he love you at the end of the day. Worry about if she love you at the end of the day. If you can't trust your woman to go to the store and come back without, because some women have to take numbers of guys because men are dangerous. But if she coming back and she holding on to the numbers and she ain't telling you the funny story, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes when we come back and tell you the funny story, we're telling you because we're being transparent. We need you to know that these dudes out here don't care that you walk up and down the street with me. They don't care that you bring in the groceries with me. They don't care. These dudes will do and say anything, including tell you that I did something with them. Because they want to mess up your happy home because they don't have one. They don't have nobody cooking for them. They don't have nobody doing anything for them. So if they see you with somebody, why wouldn't they jump on that bandwagon? Why wouldn't they mess it up for you? And then pat you on the back at the bar later on. Yeah, she left you. Shit, I'm gonna call her soon as y'all. You know what I'm saying? Men, I don't watch y'all in the last few years. Y'all done got diabolical. I think the battle is even. I done seen y'all do some of the most catty stuff in the last few years. Y'all did it. Y'all done did stuff in group chats. I done seen y'all dry snitch on each other. I done seen y'all cock block each other. I done seen y'all be jealous of each other and each other's girlfriend. I done seen y'all backdoor so many times. I done seen one guy run and tell a whole bunch of lies about another guy so that he can speak his piece. And that same guy go back and tell the other guy that that ain't what happened and that some other reverse stuff happened and still try to speak peace and be friends with everybody. But he running back and forth playing both sides. It happens. It's real. It's not only in the movies. I think the reason why I end up in the movies and in books is because it happens in real life. It does. There's a little bit of truth in the fiction, okay? A lot of truth, but we're not going to go there. You just can't put the names and the deeds, right? So this is what I'm saying. So that's why they say a lot of times you'll never catch it if it's in a book, because a lot of people aren't trying to read into it because they might read themselves. They might just read themselves. And I was trying to do tarot, but once this came out, it just seemed like a teaching time. I needed to teach about this, how the smoke and the mirrors aren't as evident as we used to think that they were. It's in the whispers, it's on the World Wide Web, it's in the internet, it's in the judges, whether they're in cloaks or not, whether they're behind the screen or not, whether it's in a Zoom or not. There are judges, there are whisperers, there are people that are purporting things, there are social engineers, there are cryptic notes, there are small slivers of information that are coming out, there are small nuances, there are small inconsistencies and coincidences, and they all are being put together to create this big tumble of chaos. And some people work best in chaos. They can sneak things in, they can sneak things out, they can make laws, they can pass bills, they can do a lot of things amongst chaos. So who really benefits from a peaceful place beyond peaceful people? And if we're mixed with peaceful people and people who wage war, then you understand that there's a one side and the other side. And it has nothing to do with colors at all, whether it's a pill or a place or a person. It has nothing to do with the colors. It's one side or the other. And I keep seeing the peaceful war and the war for peace thing, and it's like, what? At some point there has to be peace again, because I feel like we've been at war for so long. So I think a time of peace is coming. It should come. We need it. We're tired. We're exhausted. Our human bodies and our brains aren't actually meant to suffer for long periods of time. This is why they keep checking us in. I think the government is cryptically asking, are you cool? To the collective, most of us are not. We're trying to hold on, but are you cool? I'm going to ask for us. Are you cool? Don't answer me. Because some people aren't, and they don't know how to answer that question. At times, they feel like the answer is yes, but others, they're like, nah, hell no. And they're shooting it at the rooftops that no, I'm not cool. I'm not cool with this. And I think a lot of us have been forced to be okay when a lot of us are not, or at least okay with the current circumstances, or okay with our circumstances, or okay with what's being brought to us. You know, everybody's not happy with the options that they have. Sometimes they want better options. But you can't get to the better options because all of the bad options seem to be in the way and they won't move. So you have to bulldoze. But if you bulldoze, somebody's going to be offended. So this is how I bring this around to say that you will eventually have to be the villain in people's story in order to be the hero in your own. Save yourself. And it's not just for the ladies. Save yourself. Even if it's from us, our bodies, our brains, and our souls are not meant to go through prolonged torture, not meant to go through prolonged uncomfortable situations. That is a situation in where a person has been set up to break. Inevitably. So I don't understand the application. Hmm. He's back. You ready for me? Okay. Go back, go back, go back, go back. Cause go back, go back, go back, go back. Yeah. So let me get this one reading in. I'm going to do one big one. One big one for one of the elements. Fire, water, air, earth. I don't ascribe to either one. And half the world is what? Incredible. Half the world believe in Jesus to be Christians and to be Muslims. Why can't we just be and let our own passions lead us to where we need to be? I'm not really worried about anyone's religion or da. I plan to accept it and keep on moving, for it does not do anything for me. It does not serve me one way or the other. Who you serve, however, how you serve is different. If your service means to put an end to me, then that is an issue. Or another way. Okay, so what's the other half? The artist and the sun. So something has been definitely illuminated. The sun is Leo sign, the artist, Pisces. Um, Pisces air. It's air. It's air. It's definitely a lot of air. You see the air. Okay, and then you got the sun with the Leo. Okay. I'm getting Leo Scorpio from this. I'm getting Pisces air because I'm seeing wings on the feet. He's got winged feet. Wasn't Hermes? Isn't Hermes the winged feet? I forget. I forget. It's a messenger. Oh, so it's the Gemini. It's the messenger. Mm. But I'm getting Pisces from this cloud. You know, cloud is made of water, dense, 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 dense water. So that's Pisces, Gemini, Pisces, Gemini in this card. And this is Scorpio, Leo here, this card. So the restoration of creation is actually happening. It's happening between the sexes, and it's wonderful. We have become self centered and not male centered and not female centered, but self centered in a way that might give back to the world. It might hint at restoration of the world if we become self centered again. Once this happens, the balance will be created amongst humanity, and we will be able to objectively meet in logic and not just heart. The prior time period that we passed in was the period of the gatekeepers and the secrets. There were a lot of illusions being cast on us by our way of being raised. We were raised in a very romantical way, hence the forward word being Roman, which became perverse. Romance became very extreme. The romanticization of everything became very extreme. When people took up things, they became very extreme in it to the point of destruction. They overdid it. They overdid everything. They became very gluttonous of every device given. They became gluttonous of the internet, the money, the space, the peace, the luxury. Everything got overtly done. Things that were not supposed to be done got grossly done. People became monsters of themselves. Did you not see the surgeries that occurred in the last 10 years? Surgery has always been an alternative, even before it was documented and shown publicly. However, in the last few years, it has been done to points of extreme. You hear of people getting surgery and they have prolonged difficulties before a expiration, but we have people who've gone on the table right away because they went in to become a caricature of themselves, and they no longer wanted to be attached to the reality of themselves. They wanted the non reality of themselves. You see what I'm saying about the self was not centered. The outside validation became, it was as though a Trojan horse, I don't know, a Trojan horse masked as the epidemic. The epidemic brought this in. When all the streets were quiet for years, when I think it was two years. All the streets were quiet. I think from 2019 when it first started up to 2022. When that first started, it like pushed people into extremes. They were already going there, but they were going there slowly. But then they went inside. They went and they became stir crazy inside. And once they let them out, they came out. They burst out of the gates, which with such extremity that creation was all but ceased, but the age of the machine pushed forward. So now we have AI this, AI that, AI this, AI that, and it began to create for us different realities that were coveted. So nobody no longer wanted to be tethered to their own reality. They wanted to be tethered to others' reality and the reality that AI put out. and the illusions. And then everybody wanted to look like this and they wanted to look like that, but nobody wanted to look like them. But now we're back here where the man becomes the messenger and the artist. He takes forward the family. And then we have the Scorpio, the Scorpio. In the woman, she regains her passion for other things other than just outside validation. And the man, so then balance is created through the self-centeredness of recentering one's self. Narcissism revolves around the validation from outside sources. To recenter oneself should be the cure to the narcissism. Not so much as selfish, but selfless. To become selfless is to actually be aware of oneself and how they put forth energy out into the world and is received. Not attached to the result of being received, but attached to the journey of putting out the energy. I really didn't need the cards. I just needed the prompt. Okay. Okay. So this is it. I wasn't instructed to go any further than this. The man should go back into create. He is the creator. He is the messenger of sorts. He pushes the message. He puts it, the man pushes the message. I mean, he does have the paint brush. He is the one that inseminates. And the woman is the palette. She is the art. Once she grabs hold of the seed, she is then there purported to make the picture. But the man definitely provides the paint. So if you do not know how to do things to make the picture, you go back in. If you know not how to mix paint and you put out funny colors, then you definitely need to recenter. So this is true of the man and of the woman. So it is not to be male centered, it is not to be female centered, but it is to be recentered, not self centered, but recentered. And that is our message. Oh my God, I love you all. And that's it. And that is our ethereal message. Okay. Take what resonates. It doesn't have to be one sign or any sign, but you do need to know what's in your chart and to know how to navigate you. So let's get back to self awareness and self centered. Recenter oneself, not be self centered, not male centered, not female centered, but centered. Later, don't come for me because somebody's spinning you.